Good afternoon. We'll call the August 20th, 2025 Civil Service Commission meeting to order. Our next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the August 6th, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. The minutes are approved. Moving on to new business, we have a continuation of the discussion we had at the last meeting regarding the application and job specs for the senior groundskeeper in the Parks Department. So maybe we could recap where we're at from personnel's point of view. What's the issue? What's the issue on the table? And then we'll go to Parks if we have to the union also.
Right, so the issue on the table is there was an application pool for a senior groundskeeper in Parks. And Dean had applied and was not moved forward in the process because the application according to our reading was not qualified to move forward on the basis of not having 4 years of paid experience for herbicides and pesticides.
What is it, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the individual, the name of the individual in the job now is,
Yeah, now
Okay.
it's Tina.
okay, and Tina Evans, her application, she had that experience.
Allen, A-L-L-E-N.
No. Okay, Tina Allen has,
No, Tina Edwards, or Tina Edwards, yeah, it's the other guy, Justin Allen was with us.
Tina Edwards has the relevant pesticide and herbicide experience.
Yes.
Okay. So the unions,
And she's in that job.
she's in the job,
Yeah.
so she was hired. So the union's intention is, at this point, is what?
Well, the union's intention is that she only has 4 years of paid, full-time paid experience. Because she was in the classification of groundskeeper and nowhere in her job duties to the state that she can apply pesticides and herbicides. And nowhere in there does it say that. But we're saying that the 4 years that neither one of them have at the present time.
So, well, she says she has 4 years, her basis of 4 years of pesticide and herbicide experience is based on what?
The applications at the City of Binghamton.
So she said she had it in her application.
Yes.
Right.
And she does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she stated on her actual job application, I think you're talking about something else, but her actual job application stated that she had 4 years of experience. But I think, is that what you're saying? Is that she?
I mean, we go around in circles all day long.
Mhm.
It says in the job application for the job, 4 years of full-time paid experience. She was paid as a groundskeeper, not as a senior groundskeeper. I don't give a hell if she had the pesticides or herbicide license. She wasn't paid to use it. That's what it
But
says.
she was at work and she was being paid.
That she used it illegally.
No, she did not. She has the license. Bobby, how can you say that?
Yeah,
She has the license.
Because that's what it says, full-time paid experience.
Right, and she
And she was a
being paid.
groundskeeper.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm Nick Ballard, the part-time.
Okay.
I was her supervisor.
Okay, just wanted.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, I just.
So listen, I'm not here to argue with anyone, because Dee and I have always got along.
Yeah, right.
We worked together for my 14 years here, and we've never had problems. I know. And it's, trust me, this is not personal. This just makes more sense. Someone that has more qualifications, that's been doing the job for 8 years with the flower work, with helping with the pesticides and herbicides. We're now using them a little more. So she has the qualifications, has been using them, has the knowledge to do it.
And she has a license.
And she has the license.
Well, and the other point, I guess, is that on your application, you didn't put down that you had any experience, rightly or wrongly with that. When they looked at your application, you had not listed any experience at all, correct?
What, we got a letter from the previous senior groundskeeper. And Ken seen the letter stating that he had herbicides and pesticides over in the air in the Parks Department with a certain individual as a senior groundskeeper.
But wouldn't that be illegally using it since he doesn't have a license?
Yes,
So I mean,
But no, but you can use it up under a person that has a license.
About the
Under
first-
somebody's
Under
license.
right,
somebody's
okay,
license,
okay.
which technically you can, and which has been done.
Okay, so, okay.
Multiple people, not
But the
myself.
point was though that you, at the original time of your application, you did not put it in there. And then when you made your decision, the only knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, the only knowledge you had was what he had on his application.
because.
Right, and then, to my knowledge, we've never separated.
Because of special requirements, that said you had a probationary period to get your license.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing from his point of view, he's got two applications in front of him. One has no experience listed there, and one has, X number of years of experience, 8 years of experience, so he's, on his application, he says, no, he has no experience, so.
No, but in my application, I have experience with everything else that has to do with that job.
Oh, I understand
What we're
that,
talking about is a small part of the job.
but it's still,
That's
okay, go ahead.
what we're talking about is a small part of the job that being pointed out because basically I didn't have that, but everything else that comes with that job is what I told you with that application.
Right.
So any piece of equipment, any job that it does, that's what I hope that I can do. And the reason why I didn't specify about this small part because it said you had a year to get your license. So I did not put that on. I just put that, yes, I'm one test away from obtaining my license on my application. I understand what you're saying, but given the history of our department, anytime a job has come up and a person applies for the job, they don't have full experience in the job that they're applying. They get the experience during when they get the job and they learn on the job. But has happened with everyone, everyone up until this point right now.
Well, you also gotta take into consideration that the other applicant has been a groundskeeper for 8 years, so she's been getting that experience this whole time. The next step up is a senior.
Well, the other point too is I understand your point, you're saying you meet all the requirements except this. But so if I'm the hiring authority, if I'm the parks commissioner, I've got two applications in front of me. And one person meets 95% of the requirements and one meets 100% of the requirements. Why am I wrong for choosing the person that has 100% of the requirements? You meet 95, but she meets 100%. So that's where I think we're at, is that,
Because there's certain articles in the contract that says if everything is equal, which the union's position that everything is equal as far as the two applicants, that seniority is a rolling factor in getting the promotion, and the work record is a rolling factor in getting a promotion with the city. And if they compare work records, his is excellent. Hers is not too good.
But we don't have that in front of us, so we can't base it on.
It all comes in the relevance overall. Look at the two people that you're gonna.
no, I mean, I think the union is contending what is relevant or not, but I mean, we're still going back to, all we can operate on is that you got a person in the job who's been hired. So she's been hired, so I mean, it would be, I'm not saying it would be radically different, but if the position was still open and we're arguing some of this, it might be, it might be a little bit more of a debate, but we go back to is she's got 100% of the requirements. You're contesting what that she does or not, but I don't think that necessarily changes the facts. She met all the requirements for the job and he didn't because
And he will in 12 months.
but she only does now.
And he will in 12
But
months.
she does
But
now.
that's what it says. I can't change what it says.
But
That's what it says.
It's, again, the contesting factor here is not the license. License is irrelevant because whoever applies gets to get it in 12 months. So that's not the point. the point is that, again, Ferdinand didn't put the herbicide pesticide, which is a requirement, it's not a suggestion.
Right.
Or preferred.
And
It's
he'd
a
have,
requirement.
and he'd have the license in 12 months.
That is required, to be hired.
At-
So if you don't put it on your.
At the
you
time the
shouldn't put it on your
probationary
application.
period is over with. Come on, stop stretching it.
But it's not the
You're
license,
stretching it.
not stretching.
That's
No. I understand, like, if he didn't have the license and nobody else had the license, then yes.
Then they'd be arguing another issue. I know the issue already.
It'll be 12 months to get it, so, I mean, here's our dilemma, you have someone
Who's in there?
who's in there and she meets all the requirements. And he wasn't hired because he didn't meet all the requirements, even if it's a small part of it. So we're being asked to take someone out of a position that they've been hired for legitimately because they meet the requirements. So I mean, that's why.
The commission is being asked to read what it's, how it's written. And read the articles of the contract that I gave you. And like I say, if all is equal, seniority is the ruling factor, and D happens to be the senior.
But all's not equal. That's the problem.
That's the position of the union, that's all equal.
Well, okay, I mean, that's your position, okay, I respect it, but, that doesn't give us enough for you to say that she doesn't have seniority. Doesn't give us enough to take her out of the position,
Again,
because,
the contract part, we didn't get to that yet, you know. Because it's about who's qualified, because if Dean was qualified, like for example, if you just put, yeah, I've got 40 years of experience with herbicides, pesticides. Again, I don't know if he does or doesn't, but if you put that on the application, then I assume that he does, and that would be figured out during the interview process, right? So if he did, then that all comes out at that time. But he didn't put it on there, so he's not evaluated.
And you would argue the important part of that, that little sentence there, full-time paid experience, which you don't have.
Mhm.
So where are we going with this? You give it to one, but you don't give it to him. I mean, come on,
Well, again, because the other one was paid and doing it.
paid as a groundskeeper, there's my argument. Not paid as a senior groundskeeper,
I make
paid as a
I make
groundskeeper.
copies, I still get paid to do it, but it's not my job description, I make copies of the copy.
It's not in her job specs. There's nowhere in there where it says herbicides and pesticides.
Nowhere in mine where it says make copies. So.
yeah, but the point is, but she did, it's not in the job description, but she was doing it, and she has the license.
I mean.
Because he's saying he's been doing it, hasn't he? Right?
You can't probably prove that he got 4 years of.
No, but I'm saying, but he was saying it, we were accepting that he said he was doing it, because he said he was doing it. So she's been doing it, so I mean, it can't be right for him and wrong for her.
No, I'm saying they probably, well, both don't have 4 years of full-time paid
It's
experience.
all documented.
I got your documents.
And obviously, you know,
Everybody read them.
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
I do, but it.
yeah, so I mean, I go back to is based on everything that happened, you know, his application, whether he had the experience or not, he didn't put it on there, so they only can go based on what, you know, they've hired someone based on what they read in his application and with what they read in her application. And so now she's in there, and we're almost looking at a kind of a technicality that even if, which we don't necessarily agree to, but as a technicality to knock her out of that job. And I just don't think that is enough to do it by any means. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, she's already in the job, and so to take her out of that job, we have to have something substantial. And
She does everything.
and so that's where we're at. I mean, I just don't think we don't have enough to pull someone in a job who's in the job legitimately hired, to pull her out of it. That's where we're at. Well, I mean,
Is there a different avenue of recourse on the city, or it seems like the grounds is more on that side of it. I don't know how we can turn back the clock. If we were talking about this and both of them, neither one of them been hired, it feels like.
Well, I filed
Maybe it
agreements
was,
on Dee's behalf.
Yeah.
And they put her in a position, I know, that they knew this grievance is coming. And I put the agreements in advance until I met with the commission, because he said, well, let's meet with the commission first, but they still put her in that position.
We can't hold someone up in promotion.
Yeah, right.
You ever get that before? Going out, if we didn't do it, you've been grieving on behalf of her, because she would have a legitimate grievance for not in her position.
hey, I mean,
I just wanna say, I understand where you guys are coming from. You know, I mean, she's already in a position, I totally get that. I just would like to know what's the guideline we go moving forward, or when it comes to promotions. Because it seems like it goes depending on the situation or the person or whatever its status may be. And that's all I really would like to know, because I still have a lot of time to work here for city. And I'm trying to move forward in this place. And I just want to know exactly, like, I would love to read something to him. Because every time I come to a position, it seems like it's one thing or another. So I would like to see something in writing, so I can say, okay, I don't meet this, I don't meet that, or I meet this, I meet that. Because every time when I do meet something, and I do meet all the characteristics, I still don't get a job. This is the second time. So,
Yeah, so you're counting this, and this isn't a town.
no, well, I guess I absolutely can, because
Well,
I absolutely can, like I stated. Cause your city, when you became an arborist, assistant supervisor, a supervisor in your current position now, you weren't none of those things beforehand, but you got those positions and you learned those positions and you did your job. And so did the groundskeeper. We're talking about Tina. She wasn't a groundskeeper. She got the job. She did it. And everybody else going forward to every other position. So I am just trying to figure out exactly how does that work for me.
Well, you've also went from a waiver to an MEO, to a senior parks maintainer, to now a crew leader, so you are moving forward. This one just wasn't the one. This one we had two, and one was more qualified for it. Not only in the herbicide and stuff, but she's been doing the planting of flowers. That's what this job's gonna revolve around. You know that. I mean, this isn't the one that you would want. You know, it's about money. We're gonna, at some point, you're gonna get there. It's not about you, trust me. This is about what, like, if we would have took you without qualifications, could you imagine the exposure we would have had on the other side, the other foot?
Listen,
I understand where you're coming from.
I get all of that, but we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't even be here if things would have handled the right way for when we came from the assistant position. We would not even be here. I wouldn't be trying to get this position. But yet and still, somehow I fell short for that. So for the assistant supervisor's position, somehow I fell short for that with me checking every box in that scenario. So I am just trying to ask, what do I follow for me to move forward? That's it. I understand this. I understand you guys completely, totally with this when it comes to team in this position. That's all it is.
well, I don't know what happened, obviously, in the position.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about, but just in my understanding or experience is that every job, has a detailed job description of what, was expected in regards to experience and education and, or required licenses. So, whatever the job is, it's a matter of, does the individual meet the specifications that are detailed in that job description in regards to experience, in regards to education, in regards to any special licenses like a CDL herbicide. I mean, I have to believe that's the guiding documents for hiring and if you veer off, there, you know, then there must be reasons, but I just think, you know, with all things being equal, I mean, if you had two people, you had no other applicants and two people didn't meet the qualifications, then there's a different discussion there. How do we, this is all we have, how do we make exceptions here or there so we can fill the position? But I mean, we don't have that situation here, obviously. The other thing we're cautious about, like being on the Civil Service Commission, is that, you know, anything we do sets a precedent. So if we start allowing exceptions to, you know, passing the test on a certain number of times, or an exemption, you know, a waiver on this requirement or that requirement, we set up a precedent where anybody can come in and say, well, you gave them a waiver for this, you gave them a waiver for that. And then, you know, the whole system collapses on itself. So we're trying to be fair and deliberate, but also to follow the guidelines that are established under civil service law and in regards to job descriptions and the hiring practice. So that's all we can work with for the most part. I mean, when you're applying for a job, I mean, obviously, you know, do you meet the specifications outlined in that job description? If you do, then obviously that's a major step forward. And if there's two of you that are equal and one selected, then I think you have the right to ask, you know, just out of curiosity, me going forward, we both had the same job description or same job, we had the same experience, we met the same requirements. Why was, you know, candidate A chosen over me? I mean, you can ask that question. But if there's differences, you know, that becomes, you know, that kind of answers the question in itself. Like in the case of where we are right now.
And the other case that complicates it or is sometimes like this one, it's just a straight up civil service job description and qualifications. That's it. In the other case that it's referring to, there's a list.
Right.
There's a list. And then it gets complicated with the top three, the scores, then the seniority, how it is there, and then who responds to the list, and then who drops off the list. So it can get pretty, from the outside, it can look like it's not being handled on the up and up.
Right.
Because it changes, yeah, it does.
So if there's two candidates that are equal, seniority comes into play.
Yes.
That everything else is equal, seniority comes into play.
Actually, not even equal, just seniority comes into play. If you're qualified, you're qualified. And then seniority
Okay.
is it. Yeah.
Okay.
Choose my motion.
Right, yeah, the least qualified person may not get the job, or
That's qualified, may not get the job, right?
yeah, so I not get the job based on seniority.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I mean, that's, I know that's where we're at. I mean, is there any need for a motion at this point, or are we?
Yeah, if you need motion to.
Okay, is there, so there was a request to remove Tina Edwards from her position. Is that the motion? I guess that's what we're considering.
No, actually, it's whether the application was considered wrong, evaluated wrong.
Right. So we're saying we believe the application, we're making a motion that we believe the applicant. I don't want to speak for them, but I think the consensus is we believe was handled properly.
Right.
So is there a motion that stating that the application process was handled properly?
Right.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion is carried. Well, good luck to you going forward. I hope that you, it sounds like you are moving up the ladder, so you're obviously doing something right.
Appreciate
And I hope you keep moving.
He's a good guy, I know, I know him. Answering your question.
We had those conversations already, we still I never got an answer, not one time.
No,
I never got an answer. Did you get it when we were sitting there? I never got an answer for that, for that. No?
Do you feel like you just got an answer now?
Oh, just now? Oh, God, no, this, I understand this 100%. No, the last one, no, it never was an answer, because when we had our conversation, it was, when we talked the last, you kind of understood where we were coming from, and then the decision was made through the total opposite of what we talked about, and then, you know, it was never an answer, it was just that's just the way it is, pretty much. Is that what you got, Bob? So,
Really? Okay.
This is for a different position you're talking
yeah,
about.
it's for a different position.
That you applied for and you didn't get.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'll try again, because I feel like we've gone over this like 10 times.
Me. So,
Well, it's not really.
no, it's not, no, it really isn't, but. It is what it is, like I said, I suppose.
We'll let you know on the grievance.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck. No,
I think.
you want to. Not right, maybe we have to, we try to keep it, we're trying to go by the book, obviously, obviously, I mean, the job descriptions carry weight, what's put on the application. I mean, we're not extrapolating here, we just, you, based on what you read and saw and made your decision.
Can't turn back the clock in half.
I'd like to know how she feels having her union rep go over.
I mean,
I
should she
mean,
be
I feel
represented?
like shit, I mean.
Yeah, but shouldn't she be represented here?
Yeah,
You would think.
I mean, because she's a union member.
that's what I feel bad
I mean,
about.
that's not our call, but it's really a union call, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why I tried to keep it away from her, because the real issue was whether or not his application was properly evaluated.
Right.
Because if you guys decided that, for example, it wasn't, right, then you would have, then the contract thing that Bob keeps talking about, then all that would come into play.
Right,
And we'd have to make decisions about
Right.
that, but we didn't get to that.
So, yeah, I understand where he was coming from with the paid experience, like. I worked for a different company for 10 years before I came here, and we applied herbicides frequently. And I was paid to do it, so it doesn't say with the city. You know,
Well,
it's like paid experience.
Well, I think he was going with paid because she was doing it at a lower position,
But it didn't really matter how she had experience.
but she was doing it
Right.
because she wasn't getting paid to do it. So I think it was looking more like as a hook to try, like a thread to pull, to try to hit it. But I mean, it was, it really wasn't relevant enough to change where we were with this, because again, even on his application, he said whether he was qualified or not, he didn't put it on his application.
right.
So you only can go based on what's put in front of you.
Right,
And somebody leaves something out, it's not the city's fault,
yeah, that's right.
you know?
But on the other hand, I mean, she was actually assigned to do these things, right? And
I don't, like, to my knowledge, I don't ever remember him even helping spray anything, so. And I think that's why he didn't push that, because he's not gonna tell you one thing, he's not gonna tell you a lie, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So, that's why.
Yeah.
Personnel.
So, all right, well, I appreciate you coming down, because, well, we wanted to get this, I mean, we carried it, out of fairness, right? Out of fairness to them, we did carry it over to another meeting.
Yeah,
To
Yeah,
give, to get it,
to
have
sit
a,
on.
to have a more thorough discussion, so I think, we've been very fair, to listen intently to what they had to say, but we felt the city is right in where they're at, so. Good luck going forward.
thank you guys so much, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks for helping.
we don't have, do we have any other business today? Other new business, so our next meeting is September 17th, 2025. And I guess we're ready to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.